So yeah, we're very excited to have you guys. So I'll be giving you guys a little PowerPoint presentation that will show you more or less what our new program is about. So the new program is called, I'll minimize this. Catherine's here. So it's the Social Impact Accelerator program. So just to give you guys the idea of the time during which you'll be working on this project, if you do sign up with us, it's going to be February 2023 to July 2023 for the first cohort, so the first session. And then we'll have a second session that is separate from the first one, right? And so it's not like a continuation, it's two separate sessions, cohorts. So the second one is September 2023 until February 2024. So you have the option when you're signing up, depending on your schedule, which one fits better, to either sign up for the February 2023 one or the September 2023 one. Okay, there you go. So just a little intro about Chantiers Jeunesse for those of you guys who don't already know, because I think a lot of you have already worked with either Chantiers Jeunesse or another Service Jeunesse Canada organization. So just, I can't see you guys, so if you can unmute your micro and just say, like, have you already worked with a Canada Service Corps project before? Because you need to have, yeah.
Yes.
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 Okay. Good. Okay, so for those of you who didn't say yes, you need to have worked with a Canada Service, within the Canada Service Corps program to be eligible for this program. So I don't know if you already know that or not, but that's one of the criteria that we will be asking for. So about Chantiers Jeunesse, it's a nonprofit organization that has been around for over 40 years. The goal is to better community life through creating volunteering opportunities for youth within 15 to 30 years old. And we do work within Canada and internationally. However, the international program is on hold for now. So the program I'm going to explain to you guys is only within Canada. So what is the Social Impact Accelerator program? So the program, so we have many programs under the Chantiers Jeunesse umbrella, but the program I'll present to you guys today is called Social Impact Accelerator. So like I said, you need to have been a Canada Service Corps alumni to participate, and you also have to be aged between 15 and 30 years old. The micro grants that we will give to the projects within this program can go up to $5,000, and you will receive a personalized coaching for the creation of a new community service project. So one that has not been tried before, that is a brand new idea. Or it can be the continuation of an existing project or a project that has been implemented before within a community. The goals of this program are to conceive and realize a project from ideation phase. So ideation phase means the creation phase of the project to the impact phase. It is to develop a strategy to sustain the impact of the project on the long run. It is to create connections with other young volunteers across Canada. It is to network with established experts within the social impact environment field. And it is also to develop competencies with experiential learning. Sorry for this tab here on the top. I don't know how to, here. Sorry if it's getting in the way. But,
We don't see it.
Sorry?
We don't see it.
Oh, okay, good. Zoom is smarter than I thought. So there's two different paths that you guys can take within this program. So the first path is called incubator. The second path is called accelerator. So the incubator path is for new projects in response to community need. So it's a project that you haven't done before. It could already have been done by someone else, but when we say a new project, it means like it's new to you, it's new to your community, and it's in response to a need that is present in the community. And the financing goes up to $3,000 for this path, since it's a smaller scale project than the accelerator path. So you will have needed to identify a real need in the community, like I mentioned. You have to have an idea for a project which responds to that need. And you are part of the community which you will be serving, or you have a connection with that community. For the accelerator path, the financing goes up to 5,000 because it's a larger scale project. It's for the sustainable implementation of a project that has already been implemented within the community. So let's say, for example, you have like created a trash pickup initiative in your community and you want to make this an ongoing thing where you do bi-weekly meetings to pick up trash in the community and then recycle it within the correct recycling method. So that could be an accelerator one. So it's something you really want to sustain on the long run. So you wish to expand the impact of your pre-existing project and you want to develop your project for the long-term sustainable growth. For both of the paths, so for the incubator and accelerator, you have to be ready and able to participate in training events and produce project deliverables throughout the 6-month program. So, we do have kind of, because we'll have 5 modules that you guys will go through. And within the modules, there are deliverables. So documents you'll have to hand in, videos you'll have to watch to learn new things that will help you accelerate in your project. And that will help you reach the goals that you want to reach. So, there are timelines, and you need to do meetings with your, I'm getting out of myself here. Okay, so forms of accompaniment that we will have within the 2 paths, so within the incubator and accelerator. This is how we will support you, right? So how Chantiers Jeunesse will show up to help you finish your project and complete your project. So there will be individual learning, community learning, discussion panels with guest speakers and experts, and there will be the micro grant. So the individual learning will have asynchronous learning modules. So there will be an introduction and then module 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. There will be a repertoire of resources to allow you to take your project to the next level, and an individualized follow-up with one of our agents at Chantiers Jeunesse. So you will have the same agent throughout your project, which makes it easier on both ends, right? So the agent will know and be up to date with where you are in your project, what you need to do next. They will hold you accountable. They will help you with obstacles that you feel like you can't tackle alone. There will be community learning. So this aspect is new to Chantiers Jeunesse. There will be virtual group meetings in order to review the deliverables that all of the group has to hand in at the same time, more or less, and tackle common obstacles with the other volunteers. So you will all have more or less the same path that you'll be going through. Some of you will be more ahead, let's say in your marketing aspect, but you'll need more help with like finding a venue, for example. But all of you guys will need to do more or less the same thing. So you'll be able to give each other ideas, input, share how you tackle the challenge, and give advice to your fellow volunteers. So this will all be addressed in the virtual group meetings. There will be community discussions and forums as well, which is really exciting. So all throughout your project, you'll be able to ask questions, answer to questions, and communicate with your fellow volunteers all throughout the 6 months. And then, obviously connections with other volunteers. There'll be discussion panels. So the discussion panels is very exciting because we're going to get experts to come in and talk and answer questions during the discussion panel. So it will be experts within the field of social entrepreneurship and community development, which is the field that you will all be getting into. Like I mentioned, question and answer periods and discussions to know more about their experiences within their career path and within their experience in the social entrepreneurship and community development field, as well as the challenges that they have faced. You will know who the guest speaker is in advance, who the experts, so you'll be able to come prepared with questions, comments, observations, anything you might want to share with the experts. So how we will be doing this is through Mentor City. As the name mentions, it is mainly a platform centered on mentoring. So mentoring is where the agent and volunteer relationship comes in. And then also you'll be able to create connections with your fellow volunteers through Mentor City. So all the forums and everything, the group meetings that were previously discussed will be through Mentor City, and probably the discussion rounds as well. We're figuring out the logistics stuff. I think it's going to be on Mentor City. However, this platform can do a lot more. So all the modules and everything you guys will be doing, you will be doing it through Mentor City. So all the deliverables, the documents you have to hand in, the forms you have to fill out, all these things, it's going to be on Mentor City. So which is nice. You'll have everything in one place. And you'll have kind of like an account, and you'll be able to see other people's accounts and communicate through this platform. So what do the projects look like? So, we put some examples here. It's projects that have been done in the past, and, a few ideas of projects that you guys can tackle. So the projects can be on sensitizing the community and educating the community on topics you find that are important to you or to your peers or to your community. It can be projects that address community challenges. For example, homelessness can be a challenge in your community. So for a lot of homeless people, they need clothing for the winter, and this is something you'd want to do. Or you could do food drives, food banks. It can be projects to support involvement of Indigenous and underserved youth. So giving them the opportunity to access either things they do not have access to, or give them opportunities to volunteer, give them opportunities to learn something that they might not have access to in their community. Creating toolkits and resources that reinforce existing strengths and capacities of your community. It can be projects that support youth access to volunteering opportunities. It can be projects that support and promote citizen participation. Projects that support knowledge and experience needed for youth to become engaged citizens. And they can be events or services currently available in your community. So the topics that you can adjust on the right side of the screen can be universal accessibility, social justice. It could be related to sports and leisure. It could be environmental concerns. It could be mental health concerns, sex education, and committed arts. So it's a vast array. You guys can really pick any topic that you feel is in need that is not being addressed. I just saw there's stuff in the chat. Sorry, okay. Oops. So projects that are not eligible. So yeah, we do have certain criteria on the projects. Like when you guys do your application form, we'll be looking at your application as a candidate, and then we'll be looking at your project eligibility as well. The projects that are not eligible are projects that generate profit or organize fundraisers. I had a question, I did another presentation on this, and one of the questions was, if we do a food bank or a clothing drive, are these considered as profit? They are not considered as profit, because if you do a clothing drive, for example, you're taking the clothing and giving it to, for example, the homeless population. So this is not considered a fundraiser or a profit. Profit is anything that, let's say you take the clothing and you keep it for yourself, so that's profit. Or you do a fundraiser, so collect money and then keep the money for your organization. This is not allowed within the 6 months that you work with us. If you do want to do this after you worked with Chantiers Jeunesse, good, but it's not allowed within the 6 months that you'll be working with us. Projects that are not eligible are projects that require public to pay. For example, if you do a music show to raise funds for people in need in your community, well, you cannot raise funds. So if you do to raise awareness, for example, a music show to raise awareness, you cannot charge at the door. So you cannot charge tickets. It's completely on it needs to be free and accessible to your community. So projects that are not allowed are projects that pay team members and other Chantiers Jeunesse volunteers. You cannot pay Chantiers Jeunesse volunteers. You can give honorariums, so one-time payments to, let's say, an expert that you want to recruit to give a talk during a meeting in your project. You cannot give a salary to someone when you're doing a project with us. So projects not respecting limits of the Chantiers Jeunesse budget categories. The categories will be revised later when you work with us. You know, we do have categories, for example, transportation, food, venue, and we put limits on each. Normally the limits are 25% of your total budget allocated to one category. You cannot go higher than 25%. So let's say your budget is 1,000, you cannot go over 250 for a venue, for example. That's 25%. Oops. All right. You cannot support a candidate or a member of a political party with your project. You need to respect rights of individuals living in Canada with your project. You need to abide by the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and your project needs to respect reproductive rights or discriminate, and it cannot discriminate based on gender, religion, race, nationality, ethnicity, color, mental health, physical or cognitive limitation, sexual orientation or identity, or gender expression. All your projects need to be not supporting you, but you cannot be discriminating against these categories. So I just want to check if I'll present this for 2 more minutes and then check for questions. So the selection process, there'll be the first phase. Are you eligible as a candidate? So we will analyze your profile, who you are, your experience, your motivation level, and factors like these. And then there will be a final selection period where we will see if your project is eligible. So we'll see what your project is it addressing a community need? Yeah, other criteria as well for your project. For the incubator path, we select the project based on the potential impact of the project on the community and the potential development of the skills of the candidate. So what you can develop through doing this project. And for the accelerator path, we will select projects based on the pre-existing impact of the project, the potential development of the project on the long term, the long-term impact on the community and on yourself, so on the candidate, and then the potential development of the skills of the candidate. So what you can develop leadership skills, communication skills, initiative taking skills, and whatnot, 3 or 6 months with us. We want you to develop these skills and come out at the end more developed and more ready to do projects on your own. So on the application form, some examples of questions are, what is the expected long-term impact of your project? These are issues did your project address? What would you like to develop by participating in this program as skills? Why do you want to be selected for this program? And demonstrate the impact of the pre-existing project. This is for the accelerator. The deadline to apply is January 23. So we are the 9th today. That gives you an ample amount of time to get your application ready and whatnot. If you do need help with the application, you can contact us. So we have the email here, impact@cj.qc.ca. That's the general email. You can also send me an email on my personal email, which is shahinian@cj.qc.ca. You can also call. We have a phone number on our website. So does anyone have questions? That was a question period. Do you guys have any? Let me know. I will also check the chat and see what people wrote. Okay, I just saw what people worked with.
There's a question.
Yeah. Oh, Mashkura, yes.
Hi. Yeah. So my question was that, like, for example, is this an annual project that you guys will be doing? Because with my time frame, I don't know if I'll be able to, like, go ahead with the project during this period, or like, what is the deadline of the project? Or I came in a bit late, sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, that was mentioned in the beginning. It's February 2023 to July 2023 for the first session. There's going to be 2 sessions, and the 2 sessions are like separate. They're not continuations. So the first session is, like I said, February 2023 to July 2023. And then you have a second option, which is September 2023 until February 2024. So that's the second cohort. But however, you have to apply now, even if you're applying for the second cohort. But just, it's going to ask you the question, your application form, which cohort do you want? And you select the one that you want.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Merveille.
I was just wondering if you could please put your information back, like the contact information. I didn't get a chance to take a picture.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll
No
put it
worries.
in the chat actually.
Oh, that makes it easier. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. Jessica.
Thank you for the information. I would like to ask if this project or the projects that we can put up for application are eligible for projects overseas. I started a project last year with Chantiers Jeunesse and was wondering if it's possible to continue doing it or if it has some restrictions.
The project needs to be within Canada, and the impact of the project needs to be within the community in Canada. So it cannot be overseas, no.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Melve, was that like an old hand, or do you have another question?
Sorry, I forgot to put my hand down.
Okay. So there was a question in the chat. Would a citizen community science project be eligible? And then expansion of the BC Marsh Monitoring Program into a new region of BC. Ecological monitoring using community scientists to look at indicator species at local wetlands around. Yeah, that could be a possible project for sure. Because it's creating an impact on it's an environmental based project and ecological project, which are eligible. So yeah, you can apply Sky with that project. And you can also mention that, it's a need in your community, because it seems like, it's already a project that's going on and answering to a need that's present in the community. You could say, this is needed in BC, and you guys are answering to the demand. So Gabrielle said, thanks for the great info. Are we able to apply for an accelerator project for the February 2023, the July 2023 period, and then an incubator project? I believe it's possible. Sarah, yes, eh? Yeah, sorry. Okay, we'll answer to that question in a second, Gabrielle, but I'm just gonna look at Sky's comment. Hosting an in-person school field event to set up volunteers with skills and education. Yeah, that's possible. Volunteers with skills, sweet, thanks. Okay. So I'm guessing, Sky, that's your second idea for a project, hosting an in-person school field event to set up volunteers with skills and education. Yeah, that's possible as well. Totally.
Hi. So for Gabrielle's question, so you can only apply one time, as you can only receive funding one time. But if, for example, you're a team and you are the team leader for the incubator part, then one of your teammates can apply to the second cohort.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, that's great. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Were there any other questions, comments, anything?
Jessica has a...
Yeah, Jessica. Sorry, I thought it was the old hand. Should ask.
Oops, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, that's all for the info session. Like I mentioned, if you guys have any questions until January 2023, sorry, what am I saying? January 23, which is the end date for the application form, you can send us an email or call us. We have the phone number. If you Google us, you'll find the phone number. It's also on our website. Yeah, I'm thinking, was there other, so I had often the question, which was, do people apply for the same project? They can't, just to give you guys that info. Two people can apply like on two different projects, which can be under the same umbrella if you're an organization or something, for example. But the idea is to have two different projects answering two different community needs. So as long as it's not the same project they're applying for. Yeah. Okay, so if no one else comments to do, yes.
And on the same topic, if you're a team, you apply for the project. So not every member of the team have to go through the registration form. Only one of you, and there's a question, like presenting your team. So that's the moment you can present each member of your team.
Yes, Gabrielle.
Yes, I actually have another question about the team. I think I read in the application criteria that the other members of the team have to meet the eligibility criteria as well. Is that true? Because I have a couple of people that I want to collaborate with who are over the age of 30. Is that possible?
So if they're over the age of 30, they can't apply as a leader, but they can work with you as volunteers, volunteering for your project.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to check everyone's age in the group.
I don't
But
have to
it's the
submit their IDs. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah,
No, so you have to be the team leader, but they can participate in like the meeting with the court and like do the online training with you and everything else.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. Thanks.
No problem. Anyone else have a question? Or we're okay to wrap it up? Okay, well, thank you guys for coming. Have a great rest of the Monday night. And yeah, excited to get all your applications and seeing the ideas you guys have. We're very, very excited to start this project. And have a great evening. Good luck with your applications. And let us know if you have questions.
Thanks so much.
No
Bye.
problem.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a
Bye.
good night. Yay! Oh,
Yay! You can stop the recording.
yeah, okay.